Are you feeling overwhelmed, lacking control and purpose? In this chaotic world of constant pressure and unrealistic expectations, it's easy for men to feel lost, overwhelmed, and lacking control. But what if you could cultivate unshakable inner strength to handle any adversity? Forge an unbreakable mindset aligned with your core values and principles. Master your emotions instead of being controlled by them. The Stoic Guide offers a timeless blueprint for navigating life's challenges with wisdom, resilience, and unshakable inner strength. Today I'll share 10 transformative habits inspired by Stoic teachings that will help you cultivate the masculine virtues to conquer any adversity, reclaim your power, and give you the ability to live with profound discipline, humility, and purpose. The Stoic path to conquering 99% of your problems lies ahead. Let's begin. 1. Embrace the dichotomy of control. One of the core tenets of Stoic philosophy is the dichotomy of control, the idea that we should make a clear distinction between what is within our power to control and what is not. Too often men exhaust themselves agonizing over circumstances beyond their influence, like the past, others' opinions and behaviors, or external events. This is a recipe for stress, anxiety, and disappointment. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. This principle reduces unnecessary stress and anxiety by helping you accept outcomes beyond your influence. Embracing the dichotomy of control means recognizing with crystal clarity which factors you can realistically change through your own efforts and choices, and which are utterly outside your control, no matter how much you fret over them. Your thoughts, intentions, values, and actions are within the sphere of your control. But the weather, the economy, other people's decisions, these are not. For example, let's say you put in hard work prepping for a job interview, but you don't get the job in the end. Getting upset and replaying all the ways the interview could have gone differently is a waste of your energy. The reality is that the hiring manager's final decision was out of your control once you left that interview room. What you could control was your preparation, your attitude, and how you conducted yourself during the interview. Beating yourself up over not getting the job creates unnecessary anxiety and negativity. But if you learn to zero in only on the factors you could control, you'll walk away from that experience with your confidence intact. You showed up and did your best with the controllable factors. Anything beyond that is out of your hands, so don't let it drag you down. By consciously focusing your energy solely on what you can directly influence, you'll experience immense liberation and inner calm. Instead of wasting precious willpower fighting the unchangeable, you can channel that energy into productive efforts aligned with your values and goals. Let go of what you cannot control, and your mind will be freed from a huge burden of anxiety, bitterness, and helplessness. This quintessentially masculine habit of personal responsibility and discernment over what merits your focus is at the heart of Stoic equanimity. Mastering it will revolutionize your mindset and approach to life's ups and downs. No longer at the mercy of external forces, you become the eye of the storm, steadfast, grounded, and in control of yourself. 2. Practice gratitude. In the relentless pursuit of more money, status, possessions, it's all too easy for men to lose sight of what they already have. The daily grind, pressures, and setbacks can blind us to the many positive aspects of our lives worth appreciating. Practicing gratitude is the antidote to this pervasive negativity bias. Gratitude is the art of consciously shifting your perspective to acknowledge and savor the good things you may be taking for granted. It could be recognizing the roof over your head, the food on your plate, or the loved ones who surround you. It's about appreciating seeming small positives like modern comforts, freedoms, or simple pleasures. By making gratitude a daily ritual, you train your mind to scan for the positive aspects of your circumstances rather than lapsing into anxiety or cynicism. Over time, this powerful habit increases life satisfaction, bolsters resilience, and fosters an unshakable positive mindset. When you've cultivated sincere appreciation for your blessings, be they material, interpersonal, or abstract like your character strengths, life's inevitable adversities cannot perturb your inner peace. You develop a stabilizing anchor of contentment that negativity cannot disrupt. The masculine spirit is one of grit, determination, and seizing each day with energy. Gratitude strengthens this vigor by continually reinforcing the gifts you have to leverage on your journey. From this vantage point, no challenge appears insurmountable because you recognize your existing advantages. Make gratitude your daily practice by integrating moments of acknowledgement, be it through journaling, prayer, or simple mindful pauses. Continuously remind yourself of the positives already present as you work toward your ambitions. This soul-nourishing habit will instill an unshakable foundation for thriving through all of life's ups and downs. 3. Accept and move on. One of the most crippling traits that can afflict a man's mindset is an inability to accept life's inevitable hardships and setbacks. When faced with disappointment, failure, or adversity, it's all too easy to become mired in denial, bitterness, and endless rumination over what could have been. The transformative habit of acceptance teaches you to objectively confront reality on its own terms, rather than subjecting yourself to mental anguish over wishing circumstances were different. Acceptance is wisdom. It's understanding when an outcome is truly beyond your control and making peace with that fact. This is not to be confused with complacency or defeat. Acceptance simply means recognizing when you have reached the limit of what you can potentially influence through action. Rather than uselessly battling the universe over circumstances you cannot change, you clear your mind of that negativity weighing you down. With the burden of denial lifted, your mental energy is freed to completely focus on your next constructive steps forward. You can recommit to your values, reassess your aims, and chart a new path, all without being anchored to past disappointments. The ability to accept setbacks with equanimity is a powerful source of resilience and emotional mastery. You let go of what's already occurred, preventing negative residue from contaminating your motivation and perspective on the future's possibilities. Each misfortune encountered ultimately becomes just another step in your progression. Cultivate this habit by catching yourself each time you lapse into wishful thinking over events already set in stone. In those moments, consciously reaffirm your intentions, take full accountability, and get energized about controlling the one thing you can, your response. With relentless practice, you'll perfect the art of letting go and moving forward, undaunted, into the future you wish to create. 4. Live by your values. In a world that constantly barrages men with conflicting messages about success, status, and acceptable behavior, it's all too easy to lose touch with your authentic values and principles. Without a clear inner compass, you become susceptible to chasing hollow pursuits or compromising your integrity to fit society's fleeting expectations. Living by your values means systematically aligning your daily thoughts, habits, and actions with the fundamental beliefs that resonate most deeply within you. It involves taking proactive inventory of your core ethical principles and deliberately using them as a guiding light. Perhaps your core values include integrity, courage, discipline, or responsibility. Perhaps you cherish ideals like lifelong learning, creating value for others, or leaving a positive legacy. By getting meticulously clear on these intrinsic ideals, you develop unshakable congruence in how you operate. With values as your anchor, you liberate yourself from chasing external rewards like money, status, or adulation that inevitably leave you feeling empty if disconnected from your inner compass. Your efforts become infused with deeper purpose and fulfillment. Challenges are interpreted from a roots-up perspective of remaining honorable to your beliefs. This habit cultivates formidable character anti-fragility. When you live authentically by your values each day, no amount of turbulence, setback, or criticism can erode your identity and self-respect. You develop powerful defenses against giving in to short-sighted impulses, vice, or regret. Integrate this transformative practice by continually revisiting and honing your foundational values. Audit your current patterns to realign with your ideals, and hold yourself rigorously accountable to walking your talk, especially when facing ethical crossroads. In doing so, you fortify an unbreakable integrity that elevates you into your highest stature as an honorable man. 5. Take responsibility. One of the most insidious mindsets that can erode a man's potential is the tendency to blame external factors or other people for his circumstances. Making excuses, pointing fingers, and avoiding accountability creates a self-imposed prison of victimhood and disempowerment. The antidote is taking radical responsibility. Taking responsibility means firmly owning your actions, choices, and their consequences, both positive and negative. It's looking inward rather than outward when faced with adversity or setbacks. It's diligently examining your own role, no matter how small, in creating undesirable results. This isn't about masochistic self-flagellation. It's about objective self-awareness and a stoic refusal to indulge in the comfortable delusion that it's not my fault. Taking responsibility aligns you with truth and reality, which is always the first step toward improvement. When you adopt an unwavering responsibility mindset, you deprive outside forces of their power over your peace of mind. The betrayal of a loved one, a job loss, or any misfortune can be processed with equanimity by turning your focus inward. What could I have done differently? How can I respond more constructively going forward? This laser-focused ownership over your sphere of control prevents playing the victim. You stop incessantly replaying hurts, resentments, or regrets, and actualize your influence in the present moment. Responsibility empowers you to make tangible changes rather than remain paralyzed. Fully internalizing this habit requires continuous diligence anytime you catch yourself slipping into blame or denial. In those moments, pause, draw upon your integrity, and boldly own your part. That's taking responsibility. With persistent practice, you cultivate the unshakable internal locus of control that allows a man to remake himself and his circumstances through disciplined action. 6. Practice self-discipline. In a world of ubiquitous convenience and insidious hedonistic tug, one of the most potent forces allowing a man to achieve his potential is the skill of unwavering self-discipline. This challenging but crucial habit is about repeatedly choosing what you should do over what you want to do in the moment. Self-discipline is the ability to regulate your impulses, desires, and lazy propensities in service of higher aims. It's forcing yourself to take the difficult actions that will ultimately benefit you, despite the siren call of instant gratification. Disciplined sacrifice in the present requires envisioning future payoffs. This practice builds formidable willpower and channeled energy toward meaningful goals. When tempted to indulge fleeting vices like procrastination, indulgence, or escapism, the self-disciplined man can overrule those base urges. He makes the quality decision to study, train, hustle, managing himself with authority. With each small victory over his undisciplined whims, he accrues moral congruence. He respects himself more for honoring his intentions over impulse. With consistency, self-discipline becomes an ingrained lifestyle, the ability to get difficult things done through sheer tenacity. This habit also strengthens perseverance through struggle. The disciplined man expects no quick fixes and is unfazed by the inevitable grind. He cheerfully endures the daily reps, sacrifices, and gritted commitments, knowing they are prudent investments. Each burden embraced augments his resilience and tenacity. Integrate discipline through incremental practice and accountability. Audit areas where you lack follow-through and make a plan. Log habits you wish to instill. Proactively schedule demanding tasks. With each challenging act of discipline honored, you fortify your self-mastery as an indomitable force of focused diligence. 7. Stay humble. Keep your ego in check. Recognize that overestimating your abilities can lead to mistakes and missed opportunities. Humility fosters better relationships and continuous improvement. Humility is the practice of keeping your talents, abilities, and accomplishments in perspective. It's the knowledge that no matter how skilled or knowledgeable you become, there will always be limitations to transcend and more to learn. It's the circumspect temperance to sidestep the pitfalls of hubris, narcissism, and delusional self-aggrandizement. The humble man is grounded in an accurate self-assessment of his strengths and weaknesses alike. He possesses self-awareness to recognize areas where he is still lacking or could improve without denying his competencies. From this anchored standpoint, he remains inquisitive and open to growth opportunities, rather than succumbing to the perils of complacency. Interpersonally, humility enables far healthier dynamics. The humble man avoids needless boastfulness or minimizing others' contributions. He is able to cultivate stronger relationships built on mutual understanding and respect rather than arrogant posturing. This approachable quality also amplifies his ability to learn from others' knowledge and perspectives. Perhaps most importantly, humility instills the man with an impetus for lifelong learning and betterment. An inflated ego easily falls prey to stagnation under the flawed assumption of having made it. In contrast, the humble man continually seeks out teachers, challenges, and higher plateaus to ascend. His upward journey is never complete. Integrate humility by routinely reflecting on areas where your current abilities are still limited. Celebrate wins gracefully while acknowledging others' efforts. Stay open to constructive criticism as potential for growth. With vigilant practice curbing egotism and arrogance, you open infinite potential for masterful progression. 8. Prepare for adversity. One of the distinguishing traits of a truly resilient, grounded man is his ability to remain poised and resourceful in the face of adversity. While life's inevitable hardships and setbacks may blindside the unprepared, the habitually prepared man has fortified his mind through practiced foresight. This Stoic concept of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of potential evils or misfortunes, is a powerful exercise in anticipating difficulties before they happen. It's a proactive mental rehearsal of challenges you may one day encounter, so you're not overwhelmed when they manifest. The process involves vividly envisaging scenarios like job loss, betrayal, injury, or any fear that looms darkly. You imagine not just the event itself, but also your idealized, calm, thoughtful response to it. This diffuses future shocks through exposure and familiarity, while also aligning your intention for prudent conduct. Done routinely across all life domains, premeditatio malorum breeds unshakable poise and presence of mind amidst turmoil. Like metaphorical disaster drills for the psyche, you've already felt out treacherous mental territory so it holds no power to rattle you. With this solidified unflappability, you free your faculties to make judicious decisions and continue pushing forward despite obstacles. Events unfold with the tempo of your well-rehearsed responsiveness rather than spinning into panic or freezing. You handle even severe setbacks as challenges to be strategically outmaneuvered and overcome. Integrate this underrated Stoic discipline frequently, visualizing catastrophe while calm, envisioning resourceful ways to endure with resilience and fortitude. With each circuit of impression management, you condition expectations that no misfortune can ambush your reason, values, and continual progress. 9. Reflect on your actions. In the constant forward rush of pursuits and responsibilities, it's all too easy for a man to neglect stepping back and evaluating his direction. Without pausing to reflect, you risk operating on unconscious autopilot, slowly drifting away from your intentional path. The habit of regular self-reflection is an integral practice for course-correcting your life. It means setting aside dedicated time to objectively assess your actions, motivations, and whether your daily efforts are keeping aligned with your core principles and long-term vision. This process involves ruthlessly honest self-audit. You take a hard look at your recent choices, emotional patterns, and how they are either serving or undermining your stated aims. Did you uphold your standards? Where did you fall short or lose discipline? What contingencies require adaptation going forward? With the truth laid bare through introspection, you can then make calibrated adjustments from a place of heightened self-awareness. Counterproductive habits can be replaced, values can be realigned, and a refined plan of action crystallizes to get you back on track toward your ethical rebirth as a man of excellence. Reflect not just on your actions, but the reasons behind them. This causal inspection equips you to dismantle the insidious rationalizations and limiting beliefs that could otherwise indefinitely restrain your growth and potential actualization. While it requires humility to confront your flaws, regular self-reflection is ultimately an empowering practice. It reminds you that you are the conscious architect of your identity, fortunes, and impact. By iterating through cycles of thoughtful assessment and recalibration, you steer yourself onward and upward in permanent forward progression. 10. Cultivate inner strength. At the core of the human experience lies an immutable reality. Life will always contain difficulties, setbacks, and suffering to be inevitably endured. For a man seeking an indomitable mindset and sense of unshakable purpose, the final transformative habit is to cultivate profound inner strength. Inner strength is a potent alchemy of resilience, perspective, and a ferocious refusal to be broken by external forces. It's the ability to face formidable challenges head-on with pragmatic resolve, rather than avoidance or victimhood. With resilience as your foundation, obstacles paradoxically become opportunities for accelerated growth. By choosing to embrace rather than evade adversity, you forge an inextinguishable toughness. Each arduous experience metabolized builds more fortitude, grit, and determination within. Like tempering scorching steel into an impossibly hardened blade, you use the intense heat of life's trials as fuel for molding your unbreakable character. With this habit, the inevitable vicissitudes of existence stop being perceived as unfortunate deviations to be feared or resented. Instead, they become integral grist for your heroic journey of continual initiation into actualized masculinity. You begin to seek out difficulties as potential realms for tempering your mental, physical, and spiritual mettle. True inner strength is not about complacent indifference or rigid stubbornness. It's about flexibility wedded with indefatigable persistence. It's wielding unflappable poise to make situationally wise decisions amidst high-stakes scenarios. It's harnessing the unwavering self-belief that any temporary setback can ultimately be alchemized into fuel for reinvention, growth, and scalable masteries. Integrate this habit by proactively charging into fears and discomforts with the right perspective. View them not as obstacles but as challenges tailor-made to catalyze new elevations of self-actualization. With resilience as your keystone virtue, every impediment can be transformed into formidable interior granite, an indestructible foundation for an unbreakable life of conquered adversities. By integrating these 10 transformative habits into your life, you forge an unbreakable foundation of discipline, resilience, and profound inner strength. Embrace the dichotomy of control. Practice gratitude relentlessly. Live authentically by your values. Take radical responsibility and stay humble. Develop stoic foresight and self-reflection. Above all, cultivate the invincible spirit that transmutes adversity into perpetual growth. Though challenges are inevitable, you become the eye of the storm, steadfast, purposeful, and impervious to chaos. Embody the timeless Stoic virtues, and you fortify the unshakable masculine spirit to conquer 99% of life's problems. Thank you for spending your time with us today. If this journey into the Stoic philosophy has enriched your understanding or aided your personal growth, please consider giving this video a like to assist others in finding these teachings. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the profound world of Stoicism. We deeply value your presence in our community and look forward to continuing this enlightening journey together. Until next time, keep walking the path of wisdom.